Hey, what's going on guys? Arekkz here and welcome back to another video for Outriders, and today I want to talk a little bit about loot because of course, you know, if you've seen any information about the game or you've seen in the videos that we've covered, then you'll know that this is a looter shooter. It's not a game as a service, it's not one of those kind of never-ending ones, but it is still a loot-based game. So obviously as you're playing through, there are weapons for you to obtain. These of course come in a multitude of different rarities. There are gear pieces, and some of the items are actually pretty cool. But in this video, I want to kind of take a moment to talk about some of the items that we saw. I'm not going to speak too specifically about them because obviously at this stage when the game's not even out, knowing, you know, if this particular gun is good is of no value to you. But I want to kind of just give you an idea as to what some of the stats do, how some of the rarer items will change, because, you know, sometimes they'll of course give you abilities that will augment the way that you play your character. Of course, I want to give a massive shout out again to Square Enix for very kindly sponsoring this and of course flying us out to Poland to go hands-on with the game, because that's of course where I got this gameplay from, so massive shout out to them. So, take a moment to just sort of jump over to the hub town. This is sort of one of the areas you start off in the kind of beginning of the game, and there are of course two primary vendors. If we jump over to the weapon vendor, you can of course see they sell weapons in kind of three different categories. You have the regular items, which are just sort of your bog standard ones. These are just your means to progress as you go through. If of course, you know, if you kind of level up a little bit, you get some money, then of course you can just buy some of those outright. There's also different, you know, resources you can get because you can dismantle items. So some of the rarer items need currency and also, like, you know, a material that you need to gather. So some of those you'll also find out in the world. There are things to mine, things to collect from. So, you know, all that kind of stuff you get from these kinds of games. But you have your regular offer stuff. You then have, typically there's always an item on sale, and you then have your elite items, which are the, you know, purple rarity items. Now, of course, the primary difference here is that if you take a look at, say, one of the blue items, you can see that it has, alongside all the typical weapon stats, you have an ability that comes with this. So this one is first things first. The first shot hits with increased armor penetration. But of course, if you jump up to, say, epic rarity, then you have two skills on these, which are actually pretty sweet. So to give you a few examples, the ones you see on screen right now, you've got things like Life and Death, where defeated enemies create a blast that restores some health to players in range. Plus you have Claymore, where shots damage an enemy with an anomaly blade. Or you've got like Soul Devourer, killing shots regenerate some of your health. Gale of Protection, killing shots grant you a bullet stopping gale for 5 seconds. So there's quite a lot of different varied skills that come in the weapons. And what you'll typically find is the weapon skills will be more broad in this respect. They won't necessarily tie specifically into your skills. They're more so just things that can add to your playstyle, healing things, additional damage, protection, that kind of feel. But if you then take a look at some of the armor, the cool thing about this is this can change the way that your skills behave. So for example, you take a look at the regular blue trousers, the Impale skill. If you saw the class video we did yesterday, you would of course seen that's one of the skills for Devastator. This increases the health regeneration bonus for players near impaled enemies, which is pretty cool. But what you will find with some of the items, and this is really cool, is sometimes they'll give you extra charges for your abilities. So when I use Impale as Devastator, that move has a slightly longer cooldown, but I had a item later on that basically gave me multiple impales before of course it needs to cool down, so you can then go and pick off 3 different enemies. So these items, you know, they won't just make you stronger, they will of course allow you to improve the skills that you want to use. So when it comes to choosing your loot, you're then going to be thinking about not only looking for things that are stronger and better and have of course the right stats that you want, but you're also going to be looking for anomaly powers that will synergize with your build. So there's definitely a lot of kind of min-maxing potential here, which is pretty cool. Now, the other thing I do want to take a moment to sort of show is a few of the kind of legendary sort of exotic weapons, because this game does have them and some of them look really cool. Like weapon design wise, they look really, really nice. There's not a great deal of gameplay for these ones because a couple of the weapons we got, in fact, it was actually Paradise Central who got them to drop on his Pyromancer, and there was unfortunately a bug because obviously the Pyromancer has this ability where it turns all of your bullets to flame, and then at the time in the build we were playing, basically that essentially overwrote the exotic perk. So, you know, in release they'll obviously fix that, but for kind of demonstration purposes, can't really show you how they perform, but you can still take a look at a few of them. We have Air of the Desert, this really, really cool looking assault rifle, and you can see it's got a couple of mods there. Sandstorm, so your shots will conjure a sandstorm, dealing damage over time, and you also have Vampire, where killing shots grant a temporary boost to ability Leech. Alternatively, you have the gun called the Amber Vault, which looks really, really cool. I'm liking this sort of weird, archaic, like bone structure, almost like metal bone / regular bone. Really, really cool. But the actual perk for this one is Killing Spree. So every kill increases the damage for this weapon, and it deteriorates with time. Plus, this also has Vampire. But if we then take a look at, say, some of the exotic armor, I actually got these gauntlets to drop. The gauntlets of the cannonball, which is pretty cool because this synergizes with gravity jump for the Devastator. So this has got a couple of mods. One of them is gravity jump despair, where your primary target receives triple anomaly damage for 5 seconds. And you also have Human Comet, which increases the skill's damage. So basically, if of course you're gravitating towards that, then this is an item you could pick to bolster the effectiveness of that skill. It's also pretty cool because of course anytime you do get those drops, they actually come up on the side of the screen and your teammates see them as well. So it kind of baits you sometimes because you see it come off the side of your screen, you're like, oh, did I get this really cool thing? And they're like, nope, it's actually mine. So it kind of trolls you a bit, but either way, pretty sweet. But for the time being, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to give you guys a quick look as to, you know, how some of the loot works, some of the sort of things you can kind of look forward to experimenting with in the game. If you have any questions or there's anything else you want to know more about, by all means let me know in the comments down below. But for the time being, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and also click on the little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss my next upload. Also, don't forget, you can check out 269 and Paradise Central streaming over on Twitch 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. Be sure to drop by and get involved. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.